Oh dear, I think I know what this is. You see, Stan, as you get older, things that you used to like start looking and sounding like shit. And things that seemed shitty as a child don't seem as shitty. With you, somehow the wires have gotten crossed and everything looks and sounds like shit to you. It's a condition called being a cynical asshole.
Oh no.
Yes. And there's no known cure, I'm afraid. Everything just seems shitty and everyone starts to seem shitty and everything they say just starts...
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Yes, Mr. Sherman, everything stinks.
Go home, gamer girl.
Must everything be boring and sad?
You're a pushy little bastard, ain't you? But I like that.
When you get, instead of just like trying to slap something out like the Star Wars experience and crap, but when you have, when you,
don't.
I'm sorry, it's true though.
No,
it's like
I just got back from. Oh, I just died.
I just
How do
watched
I
that.
get-
It was hilarious.
How do I get back up?
1 week later.
I don't know what I was doing, but from that angle, I just jumped.
you just walked right off
I
the
just
cliff.
walked
It was
off.
hilarious.
I don't know what I was doing, but I was like, that's funny. I was just like, do, and I was like over here, and I was like, woo. Oh, see, you thought I was gonna do it.
And he did it. All right.
Oh,
Oh, I missed it.
I was fully. I didn't know how to do it. I was just messing around.
Yeah,
I
you-
hit W.
Oh, that was gold. That was...
On me. It's a culture in decline.
How dare you?
Why? He always does this. Just to rub it in my face. I can't even get out of this thing.
What? You got a Rancor too now?
His is bigger.
What?
Yes.
Yours has like big crazy horns and shit.
No, his is the cantina. His is the cantina.
Oh my God.
Edition.
Oh my God.
Listen, he has spikes. Listen, I'm not grateful. I'm very grateful for the adopted. Uncle, but look, he's got spikes. Look at him. Well, now he won't stop. See, he plays this game. Like I try to catch up to him, and then he just runs away. Stop running.
No, my brother is just the Tard Wrangler of the two of us. He has
Well,
to, he has to lead us around and be like, come on, come.
Do you see his spikes? They're orange.
Yes, they are. Quite nifty. And yours has big gnarly horns. What are you crying about?
No, his are orange.
No, I get that he has the like spikes around his back and stuff that are orange and everything, but you got big gnarly horns on the freaking head of the Rancor you got. Pretty cool.
No, his are orange.
Did you want what you wanted orange, an orange spiked Rancor? Would that have made you feel a little better?
No. Where are we going? I'm hungry. There's stuff at the gas station.
Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Sith, number 129, baby. We're getting up there, even more so. Getting also close to that 130, and then we'll just be 20 away from 150. Let's freaking go. I'm your host, The Fractured Filter, and with me here tonight is, as always, my friend, co-host, Madness compatriot and all this. Jay Hitman, how are you tonight, sir?
I'm so excited to be here, to be back. Got a lot to cover. I'm in the mood. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to roast some people.
All right, let's go. So pumped. Yes, we have some plans, and just really quick, hello Darth Pause saying bounce, and then yes, as he points out, Theory made a lore video on you. Yes, that is going to be the first big point right there. Figure why not pull the band-aid off, get it going, because this tit, oh boy.
Made one about you?
Kyle Katarn.
Did see that, and I almost died. So I did see this, and I was actually, before we start, I was checking the arrest reports from our local town to make sure that you didn't get arrested, because this thing, I saw this and I was like, I need to be physically concerned about Fractured, because he's probably going to catch a charge. He's going to Darth Bane somebody.
Mighty tempting there, sir. Mighty tempting there.
I'm so excited. I didn't even ask you. I saw this post and I was like, I'm gonna wait.
Yeah, so I'm gonna bring it up in just a moment here.
Are you gonna be okay doing it? Can you literally go? I mean, it's not great.
Oh, I know. I quickly watched some of it just to kind of get an idea of what he was talking about in the video, and or lack thereof, and just to see what I'd be walking into. I'm already gonna put the down boots on that one. But yeah, I wanted to kind of take a quick look at it just to know for sure what I was walking into, and Lord have mercy. Oh, he gets.
I mean, at least
all right.
he didn't say.
So,
go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Well, I said at least he didn't, say that Kyle Katarn was just At least he didn't agree that Kyle Katarn is just a ripoff of what's the dude's name from Andor? Cassian.
Yeah, Cassian Ender.
Yeah.
Darth Pause. Will Kyle Katarn be Invader too? You shut your whore mouth.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. He's gonna be in it.
All right, so here we go. I have it sharing for you in Discord, Hitman. Yes. But yes, here it is. And like it was pointed out too by people, as he puts it in the video too, for the title, as some of you may be able to see on your screens. Disney will never make this male character canon. They basically made a knockoff version of Kyle. And you know what? Fine. Leave it at that. But then he goes ahead and does this. And okay, you ready? You ready for this, sir?
Oh yeah.
All right. We're going. Oh, I don't know if anybody's hearing that right now. Hang on. Sorry. I always forget I gotta sometimes.
Kyle Katarn didn't grow up knowing he'd become a hero. He wasn't a chosen one, and he didn't have a legacy of greatness handed to him like the Skywalkers. Instead, his path was carved through hardship, choice, and survival. From a loyal Imperial officer to a rebel hero, and eventually one of the galaxy's most respected Jedi Knights, Kyle's journey was built on grit and a constant...
Darth Pause, can you hear it now? Hopefully it's transmitting through. Okay, cool.
Struggle between the light and dark within himself. But his story begins somewhere darker, inside the very machine that tried to break him. Now, Kyle wasn't born a rebel. He was raised on Sulan, a quiet moon where he lived under the shadow of his father.
So first off, no real shadow that he lived under when it came to more between him and his relationship with Morgan Katarn. It's kind of like our conversations have been, you know, with regards to Deep Space Nine and Cisco and his son. They have a good relationship. That was exactly what was going on here. There was no like kind of shadow casted or anything like that. Kyle didn't live, you know, anything like that. All it is that they had a good they had a good relationship, and you know, Kyle did mourn the loss of his father and kept the that's even the big thing, is that even in the dark side ending for Kyle, he holds on to that hollow for just a little bit longer until he does, you know, kind of embrace the dark side and finally like crushes it and gets rid of it. But it's something he held dear to him with his conversations between him and his father.
Not according to theory.
What was that?
Not according to theory.
Hang on,
Moon, where he lived under the shadow of his father, Morgan Katarn, a man with ties to the rebellion. Kyle didn't see him.
Well, and Morgan didn't even have ties to the rebellion until after the fact, as it was even kind of picked up on in the if he actually read the Rebel Agent book and everything, they go into that where it sounded more like after Kyle went off to the Imperial Academy.
Yeah.
His father's idea.
Where he was not a cook, by the way.
No, he was not a cook.
Contrary to what Disney believes.
For Ander, at least, he was a washed up cook.
Yes. To the rebellion, Kyle didn't see his father's idealism as a path he needed to follow. In fact, after his father's execution by the Empire, Kyle made a choice that sent him in the opposite direction. He joined the Imperial Academy. Kyle was
and there it fucking is, right off the bat. He gets the most basic thing wrong. Wrong. Kyle did not go to the Empire to join the Empire after his father was killed. He had already been at the Imperial Academy for probably I think he said like 4 years he was there. They both were in agreement for Kyle to go so he could get a form of education. And that was his main goal. And that was also, he did hold to Morgan's ideals in that he was just trying to do that. He didn't want to become some warrior. He was just there to get his education so he could have a leg up instead of just being kind of like Luke, being just the farm boy. Hello, Scourge. And yes, absolutely agree. Theory's ghostwriters are brainless. Like I said, not even.
Writer did write it though. That's the question I want to ask. And if it was his writers, that's pretty irresponsible.
Very much so. Very much so. All right, I think there's a little.
Justice or revenge. He wasn't trying to bring down the Empire for what they'd done to his family.
Again, well.
He simply wanted order in a galaxy that had become increasingly chaotic. The Empire promised that, and Kyle
wasn't in the Empire for any so self-righteous reasons of the sort. Education. And this is the funny thing that he severely downplays about Kyle's early time with the Academy before he becomes a rebel. I'll get to that in just a moment.
Kyle, an excellent soldier, believed it for a while. Everything changed when Kyle learned the truth, that it wasn't just circumstance or suspicion that led to his father's death. It was a cold, calculated execution by the very system he had sworn loyalty to. His world shattered.
Okay. This is what also bugs me about this whole situation. He doesn't acknowledge Jan Ors whatsoever in this whole video. Especially because she was very instrumental in getting the truth to Kyle. Because yes, initially Kyle was in the academy. He gets a letter regarding his father, that he was killed by rebel insurgents, basically. That was what he was first led to believe. And he'd also had a prior run-in with Jan during his initiation mission that he got. He captured Jan in her rebel cell, and he actually did show compassion. And that's kind of, again, some of the early things for showing Kyle, you know, he was not totally in the dark side of the Empire. And he you know, first kind of making contact with Jan, also notices there's something more to her than just, you know, anger and destruction. That was his first interaction. Then cut to after he's graduated from the Imperial Academy, he's gotten his little medal and all that. He runs into her again, and they start having some dialogue back and forth, and she convinces him to see some particular information regarding that event that happened to Morgan Katarn, and with the basically false flag operation that happened, because the whole operation was was Jarek, the dark Jedi Inquisitor, because we had the Inquisitors before Filoni's Baloney's nonsense. Jarek set it up because he was first. It seems like when I've gone through it, it's like he's trying to recruit Morgan, and then he does want to get to Kyle. Because he knows that they are. Morgan was also force sensitive, but he never trained in it. And then he learns of Kyle, and noticing his potential. So he sets up. So basically, for Jarek and his Dark Jedi, sets up this little false flag operation on the Solace Moon, taking out a bunch of rebels, and then captured Morgan Katarn and decapitated him, put his head on a pike and everything. I can get that. I have that too, which is very, you know, they want to say how, Andor was such a mature adult show or whatever the crap, when, you know, we had instances where things got, you know, not just like with the Darth Bane books, where it got dark and, you know, rather brutal with the way Bane disposed of people and stuff like that.
You mean the father of the daughter?
Yeah. Well, that and even Bane killing the boy, the man's three, what was it, two or three his two boys, when he was poisoned by Githany, and he was using any dark side power he could to keep himself sustained and going. So he killed the father's two children before him, and then killed him at the end.
Yeah. I'm particularly a fan of the Force Lightning cooking you with him, but that was more Malgus.
I was gonna say that was Malgus in the Deceived book that we got those little gritty details, which was fantastic. But where is it? I normally keep that sort of thing like right on by, but unfortunately, I never do. Anyways, kind of back to it. Jan gets him to a secluded room so they can talk. She shows him the recordings of what was actually happening. And even Kyle, as he's observing the video, he's like, no way would rebels, if they ever got their hands on an AT-AT Imperial Walker, would they ever use it for such an operation. And B, he noticed that the soldiers that were there were in standard Imperial formations. So he is immediately like, wait, this is fishy as all holy hell. And learns of what actually happened. And then also learned of what happened to his father, in that, his father had his head decapitated and put on a pike and as that whole display thing, and it was actually Imperials that did it and not the Rebel Alliance in any form. So he got the truth, and Jan was very instrumental in getting him that information. Which is funny that you just to gloss over all of that information entirely.
Well, that's the whole thing. I don't know if there's a connection, but that's what was so stupid about the Rogue One. It's where they had Andor and Jyn Erso grabbing the Death Star plans when that wasn't that wasn't how it went down.
No, and in fact, it went down very differently.
Yes, it was the Bothans got the second one, and it was Kyle Katarn and Jan Ors who got it. Like I said, I'm not an expert on Kyle. You're the expert. I'm not, but I've always believed, and I would take my next paycheck that Kyle Katarn and Jan Ors are the original ones that got the Death Star plans. Am I right?
I wholeheartedly stand by that. Yes, absolutely.
Is there anybody that would argue against that with fact?
I mean, the only thing that they would use is just the whole point about it's no longer canon, and the new canon and the true canon now is what Disney put out.
But I mean, it's factual. Though. It's factual that they did this. This wasn't just made up. Yeah. All right. So
start more of this goofball malarkey.
See, this is like, if anybody thinks that we just hate, like, I'm gonna be honest, like, I don't hate him. There's very few people that I hate. I don't hate theory. What I hate is the fact that this guy claims to be an expert, but then he botches the whole story of Kyle Katarn, and it's not, and it's within Legends, and he will sit there.
Yeah, and this is directed specifically as being a Legends video. So he's trying to use the lore, but he can't even get it correctly checked out.
No. So again, not an expert on Legends. I've read, I'll be the first to say that. There might be points where the dude can probably argue against me, but I know enough. It's just irresponsible, and it's lazy. And if you're gonna sit there and say, well, the new canon is the law of the land, and you totally disrespect or disregard Legends, then don't pull from Legends. Don't talk out both sides of your mouth, and that's what I feel like he does sometimes. And by sometimes, I mean all the time.
No, I agree with you 100%.
Why I sent Bradley a message. I DM'd Bradley today, just before the show, and I was like, tell Theory for me that his fence is warm.
Yes, I like that. I saw that. Hey, Nerdy Neo, how's it going? He says Disney Star Wars isn't canon. 100% agree. And yes, EU. It's the EU, not Legends is an insult. I agree, Neo. 100%, brother.
There are things that you could maybe, I don't know, try to dispute, or maybe have difference in opinions, like the Yu Zong Bong, or I mean, that might be even a bad example. But there's things that you can maybe have discrepancies about or have questions about. But when something's like laid out flatly about Katarn and Jan Ors, I don't think you have the ability or the right to question it. Like, it's written down.
Yeah,
mind you, a lot of the Yu Zong Bong stuff is written down too. But and then like, there's something I'll never know, and I'll never figure out. And I think this was probably part of your plan all those years ago when we were at the place where we were talking about this, doing this show. I brought up theory. I think you maliciously and intentionally goaded me into falling.
What?
You could years later use this against me and just raise my blood pressure, because every time I talk about this guy, my blood, like the vein in my neck and the side of my head, palpitates.
Well, and you know what? I figured this is probably the last. This was such an open opportunity that I could not ignore, and I could not resist. For anybody that's been annoyed by us talking about this guy, I swear, last time, unless something really egregious comes up again that we have to talk about it, but
I would like for you as the one who does a lot of the lifting of this show and kind of the patriarch, to tell our fans, if we have any, that this was your plan. Because now that I think about it, this is very Chiefs driven. And I'm not talking about Palpatine, I'm talking about like your brother Chiefs. This is very calculated, cold,
Yes.
methodic.
You give me much too much credit, sir.
No, because you are the master of reverse psychology. So is your brother. So
I would say
don't sit there from your chair of absolute knowledge and tell me it's not.
Absolute knowledge. Again, you give me so much credit, sir.
People who are listening live, this is reverse psychology. This is Fractured's reverse psychology. Anyway, if anybody has complaints about talking about theory, blame Fractured, because
all I ever did
129 episodes ago, he's the one who's like, yeah, no, I'm not going to follow him, knowing that I'd follow him. And here we are.
The only reason I've heard of this was thanks to Darth Paz, who did post it in our Discord, and also because of some of the DM groups I'm in, they were talking about it as well, and it brought it up. So
thank goodness for the criminals, the criminality against theory group.
Because otherwise, I don't have the guys. I don't believe I'm subscribed to the guy anymore, or hadn't been for a while. Because I never liked his theory videos anyways, because they were all seeped in Disney continuity, which is fake continuity. So I didn't see the point of following the guy. I'm like, why should I bother? Let's finish up.
Because you're just methodic, and I thought he held the title of shyster, but that's very, very cold, calculated, methodic. Let's continue.
To the rebellion. He wasn't motivated by the desire to join the fight for justice.
Yes, he was. He was motivated by the fact the Empire killed his father.
Instead, he fell into the shadows, abandoning the Empire. But still...
No, he was on the same cruise ship that Jan Ors was on, and after getting the news, he did kind of run off for a bit, but that was just to clear his head. He then went back to Jan and was like, what can I do to join up? Maybe a few hours, next day sort of thing. He was back to her and was ready to start working. Hello, Duke Devil. How's it going? He's saying, just waiting for your favorite YouTuber to show up at the G&G meetup. Duke, I swear, if there's a multiverse out there, somewhere out there, there is you, but you are Loki. Like, if there was Norse mythology that was real, you are a trickster god.
I just
need
Brad to ask Theory how hot his fence is, how warm his fence is. That's all I need him to do. And I need you to get a t-shirt for Fractured, because when we start revealing our faces, we're going to do a selfie with our shirts on.
Oh God, let's keep this going. Really
unsure of where he belonged. What do you do when the very foundation of your life falls apart? You survive however you can. In the lawless corners of the galaxy, Kyle found his place as a mercenary. His skills were valuable, but it wasn't about belief in any higher cause. He did what he had to do to get by, taking jobs for credits, using his Imperial training for personal survival rather than galactic ideals. This period of Kyle's life wasn't glamorous. He was lost, bitter, and adrift.
No, again, like, the mercenary work, if any, was after the fact. It was after they blew up the Death Star. That came after the fact. And even then, he was still working for the Rebel Alliance. Like, he didn't stop. Like, he went off on personal missions because he was, yes, trying to hunt down Jarek and the Dark Jedi that were who was responsible for killing his father. But that was after they did the Death Star mission, well after the fact.
According to
the
who?
Pain of his father's death.
What's that?
According to who?
That would be between the two books, Rebel Agent or Soldier for the Empire and Rebel Agent. Soldier for the Empire was the first book. Rebel Agent was the second.
Good. I just want to make sure that somebody read the book.
Yep. I was listening to the audiobooks, in fact, before to refresh my memory on everything, so I could talk about this a lot better. Because Yeah.
Death still fresh, the betrayal of the Empire still burning. In many ways, Kyle was a man without purpose, floating in the galaxy's gray areas, doing what he did best, fighting. But even the galaxy's darkest corners can't hide someone like Kyle forever. One mission would change everything. The Rebel Alliance hired Kyle to infiltrate an Imperial facility and steal the Death Star plans. A mission that would go down in history. But here's the thing, Kyle wasn't a rebel yet. He wasn't some die-hard believer in the cause. For him, it was just another job. But something about this mission felt...
Not necessarily, no. Here is the thing. Like it was, he just joined up with the Rebel Alliance. He was kind of using them as a means to an end, yes, because he wanted Jarek. But at the same time, he was ready to fight. He was ready to help. He did adopt his father's idealisms and stuff like that. That's kind of the thing. Even though he didn't really want to engage in fighting, that like in everything, but he did go into this. He wanted to help the Rebel Alliance to get back. Yes, to get back at the Empire. But the another big thing that he overshadows and doesn't touch on, again, his ghostwriters need to get better. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. Mon Mothma especially did not trust him worth a damn. And this is one of the great details that I love about those old books too. And it shows just, Mon Mothma can read a person. She kind of gets them, but at the same time, she doesn't. And that's kind of the flaw there. She doesn't quite understand Kyle. But that's good. That's, you need to have like people that have their doubts about the character. And unlike Jan, who kind of sees that, Kyle is somebody they can rely and trust upon. But she gives the mission, after Kyle gets the mission about getting the Death Star plans that they're going after, Mon Mothma talks to Jan privately and makes it very matter of fact and clear. If for 1 minute you ever get the impression that Kyle is potentially a double agent and working against us, it's upon you to take him out and kill him. Because they were watching a briefing about the Death Star plans. He noticed a former friend and his former roommate at the Imperial Academy was at this particular station, but he hid that bit of information from them because he didn't want to totally involve the guy. He didn't want to get him implicated or anything like that, because then he devised his own plans to use his friend kind of to help him out with this a little bit, but he wasn't trying to involve the guy completely. So he lied to them about knowing somebody at this garrison, and Mon Mothma picked up on that. And again, that's where you see how smart she is, how, she's kind of keeping an eye on him very, very much. But again,
can we just establish really quick the Mon Mothma of Legends, not Andor?
The expanded universe Mon Mothma, yes, she is very keen, very observant, and all of that. She is there's a reason she is one of the top leadership for the Rebel Alliance, besides Bail Organa and stuff. So yeah, I mean that I thought was always such an interesting moment too, is that she's like, if Kyle is wavering whatsoever that you see, Jan, you have to. So, and there's a moment too where that almost looks like it's going to happen, because Kyle is meeting with his former friend from the academy in a cantina on the planet, and she immediately suspects him, thinks he's going to be up to no good. But then this is also where things show a little bit about even Jan's feelings towards Kyle, in that even though she has her blaster prepped and ready to go to take him out, she stops him and starts questioning him and starts, demanding answers. Why would you, after what the Imperials did to your dad, sort of thing. And then he explains the whole situation of what was going on and why he did it. And they come to they come to an understanding. They're able to use his friend to get into the base, and then kind of shenanigans happen, which you can lead into the Dark Forces game where you do that mission, and yes, you do get into a little bit of a firefight. So
felt different. As Kyle navigated the tight security of the facility on Danuta, battling stormtroopers and using every bit of his Imperial training to evade capture, the weight of what he was doing hit him. The Death Star.
Again, like, he got help from his friend. It's not being pointed out particularly. And the weight of the whole Death Star was even being mentioned to him, like, casually through conversation with other people on the cruise ship he was on. Because in one of the again, it is like another friend from the Imperial Academy invited him over, and they were all kind of chatting, and things were getting dropped. So he was getting some info on what this thing was, and Mon Mothma briefed him on the whole situation. And yes, he saw what the devastation of this weapon would be.
Was the embodiment of everything the Empire stood for: control, fear, destruction. And this time, Kyle was fighting against it. By the time he walked away with the Death Star plans, something had shifted. He wasn't just a mercenary anymore. The lines had blurred, and for the first time, Kyle was part of something bigger than himself. His success in stealing the Death Star plans wasn't the end of his involvement with the rebellion. It was just the beginning. Soon, the Rebel Alliance had another mission for him.
Okay, so, all right, he's going to go into a little bit of the Death Trooper stuff. Or Shadow Troopers.
Kyle was tasked with taking down the Dark Trooper project.
Troopers, yeah.
The Dark Troopers were no ordinary stormtroopers. These were heavily armored battle droids, nearly indestructible in design.
Yet he's now using scenes from, this was from Mandalorian, when they attacked, were attacking in the season 2 finale. I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about Legends material here, brah.
To crush the rebellion. Tracking them down and stopping their production took Kyle across the galaxy, into frozen wastelands, deadly space stations, and dangerous Imperial bases. Kyle wasn't just fighting machines, he was up against the Empire's obsession with control and dominance. Each time he faced a Dark Trooper, it was a reminder of the cold, mechanical future.
Yes, Jorge Lucas. He's saying so. Oh, so this is what Filoni ripped off in Mando 2 season 2 finale. Yes, this was where, again, this is like, the trash panda Filoni loves looting the EU for all this material. But yes, and it was like some of the things kind of lined up, but also, like, you'll see, Vader was a little bit involved in this project.
The Empire was fighting to create. The final confrontation came aboard the Arc Hammer, the ship producing these monstrosities. The battle with General Rom Mok, the man behind the project, was fierce. Blaster bolts ricocheted off the walls and the ship groaned.
I mean, to be honest, when I played through it, it wasn't that vicious, but hey.
Under the weight of destruction. But when the Arc Hammer fell, Kyle knew he had struck a blow against something far larger than any droid army. But after every mission, every victory, Kyle felt something deeper calling him. A power he hadn't yet.
No, he was feeling the power of the Force since even during his Academy days. It wasn't until during the Death Star mission to capture the plans that he started to kind of understand it a little bit, because he was bringing it up occasionally to Jan, and she was explaining a little bit of how as she called it, as she said, the old timers would talk about the Force and that old thing. And then he's like, yeah, my dad would talk of it, but I never quite understood it. But he starts to slowly but surely even grasp it even early on before tackling with the the droids here.
Fully understood. Katarn wasn't just any soldier. Beneath the hardened exterior, there was something else brewing. It wasn't until he uncovered the truth about his father's connection to the Jedi and the Valley of the Jedi
Again,
that Kyle began to realize his own
wait, let me actually hear that back really quick.
It wasn't until he uncovered the truth about his father's connection to the Jedi and the Valley of the Jedi that Kyle began to realize his own potential with the Force. The Valley wasn't just a site of historical significance, it was a place brimming with power. Power that...
So even like discovering some of this information though, he ended up getting major pieces on it, and what its significance was thanks to even Luke Skywalker, who explained the legend of it as well. And it's always funny hearing Rusan talked about in these early days, considering the Darth Bane trilogy hadn't happened yet. But again, this is where you also see with the expanded universe, they maintained a lot of continuity, because they talked about the storms and the devastation and what happened to the bouncers nearly being wiped out. And then they cover all that with the Darth Bane book, Path of Destruction. And it's awesome. If you haven't, read it or listen to the audiobook. The audiobook, fantastic. But this is again where like certain details are being omitted. When you're trying to do a profile thing on a particular character, getting a lot of the meatier pieces should be necessary. But again, this is where his ghostwriters or himself just not doing the proper research, or plagiarizing Wikipedia, whatever, doesn't work out for him so well.
That could be used for great good or unimaginable evil. Guided by the spirit of Jedi Knight Kuran, Kyle began his Jedi training. But Kyle didn't learn the way Luke did.
So it's Ram Koda that he does receive the training from, and there's gonna be a little bit, he actually gets something kind of right here.
There was no peaceful meditation or quiet moments of reflection. For Kyle, training came on the battlefield.
Okay, so he does have a few moments of where he does try to meditate and stuff like that. This is again more in the Rebel Agent book, the second one, when he starts developing more of this. But there's truth here in that he is guided by the spirit of Ram, who is giving him guidance as he is like taking on particular bounty hunters during this time, when he's trying to get the direct link and map, the star map, in fact, to Rusan, to the Valley of the Jedi, so he can get there before Jarek and his Dark Jedi can.
With blaster fire and the ever-looming threat of darkness surrounding him. And that darkness had a name, Jarek. Jarek was a fallen Jedi consumed by the dark side, sought the Valley's power for himself. The final showdown between Kyle and Jarek was more than a duel of lightsabers. It was a battle of will, a clash of everything they represented. The ground beneath them trembled as their lightsabers collided, sending sparks flying. Jarek's voice dripped with arrogance as he tried to sway Kyle. "You fight for nothing, Katarn. I fight for power, the only thing that matters." But Kyle wasn't fighting for power. He wasn't fighting for everything Jarek wasn't, for balance, for justice, for a galaxy that he didn't need to be ruled by fear. With a final powerful...
This is a funny thing where I think he's just using stuff from the game. And as it turns out, like, the games were the games. They have a bit of the true lore and stuff like that, but it's the books that are the main source of information, because like it is, you can only take a game so far just because you have all the gameplay mechanics that kind of muddy things a little bit because they're trying to make something fun. Oh, did I because I've been listening to it and he keeps calling him Ron, so I got it mixed up a little bit. I think I got the names, my bad on that one. So regardless of that, he keeps calling him Ron. He just goes by the last name then. And that's what I got it again mixed. I'm terrible with names. I've said this before. But okay, because I tried to correct. My bad. What was I talking about originally? Shit, I got distracted. Thank you, Neo. You distracted me a little bit. Yeah, it just seems like he's going mainly off of the video game lore, when in fact it's the book that is the main source for the lore for Katarn.
Powerful strike, Kyle defeated Jarek, saving the galaxy and embracing his true role as a Jedi Knight. This wasn't about being the...
He goes through even his trials prior to his battle with Jarek. And even Luke Skywalker, upon meeting with Kyle, confirms this. He's like, yes, because the bouncers on Ruusan are the ones that know the legend that there is to be a knight that comes to release the spirits from the Valley of the Jedi. And that knight in particular is Kyle. So upon then hearing like the extra kind of, information about the Valley of the Jedi and everything from Luke, all the extra details and stuff, that's where it's realized, okay, so Kyle is that knight that's supposed to appear. Therefore he has, gone through his trials, getting this information, and even sparing the Dark Jedi Yun. Hang on, I'm forgetting. I want to say it was Yun, the guy with the yellow lightsaber. Let's see, Dark Forces 2. Yeah, he spares the Dark Jedi Yun in a duel. And that is part of, because he again was showing compassion to an enemy. So that was, and he there's even other moments where he tries to get people to not, fight him. He tries to take the peaceful routes, but they are the one that engages him in combat, and he's, just defending himself. So as it ends up becoming, he ends up passing his trial, or going through his trials, and he becomes a Jedi Knight through all of the, and this is going from the first book onto this into the second one, where a lot more of this is taking place, that he's having these battles and potentially struggling a little bit with the light side, dark side sort of stuff, but he knows where he stands generally.
Strongest. It was about Kyle finally understanding who he was meant to be. His journey as a Jedi wasn't a straight path. Even after defeating Jarek, the pull of the dark side was always close. In Jedi Knight Mysteries of the Sith, Kyle sought to understand the dark side, believing he needed to confront it to defeat it. But the dark side isn't something you master. It's something that consumes you, slowly, quietly. Kyle almost lost himself, succumbing to the seductive power of the dark side. It was only through the intervention of Mara Jade that Kyle found his way back. The struggle left a permanent mark on him. Kyle knew, more than most, the fine line that existed between light and dark is what shaped him into the Jedi he would become, one who understood the Force in a way few others did.
And that's part of, why he abandons the Force. You can kind of see there's a little bit of a excuse for why in the Jedi Outcast he starts out, square one. But it does work out because of the events of what happened in Mysteries of the Sith, and through Mara at the end of the final battle, because you do have a battle with Kyle, and then you get to the very, very end of all of it, and you have a choice to engage him or to deactivate your lightsaber and kind of like do a fall off sort of thing. Or if you strike him down, you could just basically end the game. And like, I don't know. I'm trying to remember if there was a bad ending or not. I'm a little fuzzy on that because it's been a while since I went through that game. But yeah, like she takes that chance and it stops with stops the fighting, kind of like what you saw right there, where he's about ready to strike her, but she's not engaging him anymore. And that's where, Kyle finally breaks the dark side hold. The game is fun. Like, if you haven't played it, definitely check it out. But and
his legacy was cemented when he became a Jedi Master. serving under Luke Skywalker in the new Jedi Order. But unlike most Jedi, Kyle wasn't bound by tradition. His lessons were hard-earned, learned on the battlefield in the galaxy's darkest corners. Kyle understood the complexities of the galaxy. He knew that sometimes the
This is where I also think is a bit of a problem, because he's glossing over and he's not going to go into the events with Desan.
fight didn't play by the rules. His experience as a mercenary, as a man who had seen both sides of the war, gave him a perspective few others had. And because of that, Kyle was a Jedi Master who fought not just with the Force, but with everything he'd learned along the way. Kyle Katarn's story is one of choice. It's a reminder that heroes aren't born. They're made through decisions they make, through the struggles they endure, and through the paths they carve for themselves. From a mercenary to a rebel to a lost soldier to a Jedi Knight, Kyle's journey is about more than just the battle.
Again, I think it's such a mistake that you gloss over the events with Desan, because that was why he ended up going back and becoming a Jedi Knight to Jedi Master eventually. For anybody that hasn't played Jedi Outcast, I mean, it's a great game. I suggest you play that, because if you want, and I've talked about it in millions of times, it and Jedi Academy are two fantastic games, but particularly when it comes to the lightsaber combat, you're not going to get anything better than that. I don't care what anybody says. It does not get better than those two games.
It's a great game. It's a fantastic
Oh, no, they're amazing games. Both of them are amazing. They're both fantastic. I'd say Jedi Academy is a little more of an expansion on the Jedi Outcast, but still a fun and enjoyable game with a good story. Jedi Outcast, I just think, for the story-wise, is just amazing. I love it. I love what Kyle goes through in that, you know, he has this dark Jedi Desan coming and challenging him, trying to get the information that he desires from him, again, related to the Valley of the Jedi, and what is set up in that Desan capturing and killing Jan. It sets Kyle on a potentially very angry and dark path because of their relationship and everything that happened with the previous situations. That's where you get some of that from Dark Forces 2, but not as much as from when you're going through the books, because the books really do a little more to have that relationship take place between Jan and Kyle.
I think he would have made a good Dark Jedi.
But, you know, in the Jedi Outcast, that's, again, you know, another big trial for Kyle to go through, especially like it is. He has so much anger and wants revenge so badly. Again, he is faced against Tavion, which you saw him I think they showed him force choking her earlier in this little video. But again, that's another moment where he struggles and almost again falls to the dark side, but he pulls himself back. And especially with some information she gives him, he's able to do so. I'm trying not to. It's funny. It's like it's an old game. People should play it by now. But I don't want to spoil it because it's just that good. So.
Outcast or Academy?
Outcast.
Oh, so good.
So, I think we're just about at the end of this.
Battles that he fought. It's about the man he became, a legend built on his own terms. Hope you enjoyed this brief backstory about.
Okay, yeah. So, it's just amazing how he could go through this, have whoever quote unquote researched Kyle Katarn and get so many of the other details wrong. I was wrong about the name of Huron. But
you make it sound like he hired somebody that he didn't do it himself, which I wouldn't be surprised if he just didn't know.
There might be ghost writers. I have no evidence of that. I've heard things, but
yes, those writers are still employed if they botched it this bad.
I don't. That's the thing. Like, he's reading whatever scripts he's getting, and I don't even know if he's like proofing it, like, you know, checking if the facts are all correct. He's just like,
see, this is the thing though. He was he was just a normal person. Just, I mean, he's obviously a person, but he was just, when he started out, he was no different than you and I. He started on his own, and so to put the blame on ghostwriters or other people, that's like, no, bro, like you
No, he's
started this
still
journey.
ultimately responsible.
Right.
Yes. Yes,
He's
I
responsible
agree.
for every word that. I mean, can you imagine if like George just hired a writer to do something, but he didn't have anything to say? I mean, at the end of the day, it would still be George's responsibility because he's the creator. Now that's a little different because Star Wars Theory didn't create Star Wars, but he built this whole platform just like, a normal. I mean, he went from 1 subscriber to 2 to whatever he's got. So the
Right.
fact that if he's gonna cast blame on a ghostwriter, and again, we
Well,
don't have
he's not blaming anybody. It's all of us that are trying to
no,
understand.
but the point I'm trying to make is if he's
Oh,
having
sorry.
people write this stuff and he's not proofing it or just letting them speak on his behalf, like, bro, that's not good.
Yeah.
Because clearly there's no way you can argue against this. The facts are the facts, and whether you want to, Ben Shapiro, I have my issues with him, but he coined the phrase "facts don't care about your feelings." Right? They don't. Facts do not care about your feelings, and this is factual. Everything that we know about Kyle Katarn, that is like written on paper. You can't alter that.
Right.
You can disagree with it, and you can make up some theory in your head because you obviously love theories. But at the end of the day, what you're saying is not correct, and that is the issue that I have. If you are going to have the biggest platform devoted to Star Wars, whether you like what George did or not, you should stand by the guy who created it because he's the creator.
Right.
It's not Filoni. Like, and it's not fair for you to stand by Filoni and not George. Like, Filoni doesn't know what George wanted. Like, he worked with him for years, but and again, the tired old argument is like, well, what would George be saying now? I think George had gray hair before during Star Wars. I think I don't know what's worse than gray, right?
Right.
So at the end of the day, I'll yield the floor after this. He's
You're
got the
fine.
biggest following. He's got the biggest platform. If he's not devoted to truth and perspective, not like gospel truth, but like truth of Star Wars, like you don't deserve to have your platform. You can have your opinion, sure. You can like things, you can not like things, but at the end of the day, like if what you like is contradictory to everything that is Star Wars, like
Yeah.
first of all, you have to have a basis of like what is his barometer? Like, what is he comparing? Like, so here, let me just, this might be a really bad example, but like as a Christian, the Bible is my compass, right? So if he's a Star Wars fan, it should be George and what he created should be that compass. He should test everything that is happening to what George created. And by doing so, that you get your answer, right? So if you're taking everything that Felony's creating and Deborah Chow did and Kathleen Kennedy, if you're taking all this stuff and it doesn't really fit in that mold of what George created or what George wanted, then it's probably not good. And again, look, you're subjective because you don't know. George hasn't come out and said anything. It's like, no, you're right. George hasn't come out and said anything, but you can watch all 6 movies and you can read all the books within canon. And if you do that, I have a really hard time coming to a conclusion that George would want a Fennec Shand get her guts removed and put robotic guts to push a boulder down a hill and have these Power Ranger Vespas do something. I mean, it's just nonsense. Nonsense. Absolutely rubbish. Nonsense. Not like linguistic nonsense. And half the things that come out that boy's mouth is linguistic. It's linguistics. I can't see.
Linguini nonsense. Yes, I agree.
Linguini. Thank you. Linguini nonsense. So I just you're really dropping the ball, man. Like, again, I don't know him. He could be a great person, great guy, but if you're gonna sit there and defend George like you have, I don't understand how you can defend Filoni or Kennedy or
any of it. Yeah.
and he's come out and said shows are bad, but you're also like, I jokingly come out and say, oh man, like Book of Boba was amazing. Here's the difference. I truly think Book of Boba was good compared to this other just silverback gorilla crap thrown on a wall that we've gotten. Right? Still hate it, but I mean, it's better than what we've got. Right?
Yeah.
But I'm not out here saying, oh yeah, it's 100% aligns with canon. Absolutely. Boba Fett absolutely was in the went to the Dune scene and had a dancing party with the Tuscans. And it doesn't matter that all the research that we've done and all the knowledge that we have that the Tuscans were a very inclusive tribe and hated everybody outside. Doesn't matter because Filoni says that Boba had a good time with him, and that's now the law of the land because what Filoni says. Don't get me started on Omega. Like he's like, oh yeah,
Omega.
Don't get me started. He's like, oh yeah, the Bad Batch was really good. It's like, is she a girl? Is she a boy? And if it's just
That was ever the freaking question, right?
I yield the floor to you. I yield the floor, but and I think it's true. This should be the last time we bring this boy up because all press is good press, and we're sitting here talking about him, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He doesn't care what Tim says.
No, because you
you
have somebody like OG Star Wars, Alora, who has all the evidence, who presents it, and you don't generally see him ever reacting to it or anything. He doesn't pay no mind to it. Why? And I guess why should he?
Why shouldn't? He's making money regardless. A true fan, and I don't have that many followers, so I don't know what it's like to have everybody, tag and post. Maybe it's a little bit difficult, but you should at least. But I've seen other people interact with like Tim. Tim has a big following, and he interacts with people. Now compared to Theory, no. But the point I'm trying to make is Tim's very busy, and he will at least give people the time of day. Alora's very busy, and she will argue with people, and she'll give other people
all the time
the time of day, right?
Right.
So again, I mean, it's apples to oranges, and in regards to the following, but the premise is still the same. If somebody calls you out, you should at least have the common decency to be like, okay, like have the attitude that I may not be right in some instances, and let's have a debate. But if you're 100% confident in what you believe, back it up. Don't back it up with subjective feelings. Back it up with facts.
Right.
Prove to me that Boba went into the Dune scene, Dune Sea, and danced with the Tuscans and got welcomed in. Don't prove it to me over a video, like over a show. Well, Jay Hinman, how are you going to prove that? How do you know what was different with George Lucas in the movies? Well, because he wrote it.
Right. The original creator was behind and responsible for.
He wrote it. So if he wanted to have Boba go into the Dune scene and dance with Tuscans, I'd be okay with it. Why? Because he did the way he wanted. Well, that's just bias. Well, no, it's not bias if the creator himself is creating it and it's not a stupid idea. Let's be honest. I don't think George would ever do that because it's absolutely stupid and it contradicts everything we know about the Tuscans. I'm going to lose my breath. It's contradictory. I just like... you don't get me started on Omega. Like that's just dumb. That is the dumbest. There's nothing under the sun that you could bring to the table that would even describe or defend Omega, who is a girl who was cloned from a guy.
Yeah, don't get me going on that one again.
No, but there's nothing like you can do.
No, I agree.
A banana mates with a banana, you get a banana. An apple mates with an apple, you get an apple. Grapes mate with grapes, you don't get a cucumber. Like
that's right.
1 + 1 = 2. Like there's no
110% correct.
A daddy loves a mommy. They come together, they have a baby, and the only two options are a boy and a girl. You don't get a tree frog.
Nope. Like I said, this will be kind of the final comments on this. Theory is a complete and utter tit. The guy should not be wielding any level of responsibility or authority over Star Wars lore at all. There are much more better people out there that know the real Star Wars lore, that show real respect to George Lucas. Theory is just that. At least I'll say for his YouTube personality, nothing short of a clown. Like it is, somebody like Kyle Katarn is not a overly complex or deep lore character. Does he have lore? Absolutely, and it's fantastic, and I enjoy every minute of it. From those 3 books to the video games, I do it in like it is. I said this to Alora on X earlier because she commented on me because I was saying I'm re-listening to to the book series, so I could be prepared for tonight. And I do wish they incorporated more of the scenes from the books into the games. That would have been awesome. But regardless, I think it's all great, and I can intertwine it all, and I can see where things would fit, don't fit, stuff like that. Regardless, I don't see how you could get such basic information incorrect, even if he himself is the one, reading Wikipedia and just copying and pasting stuff over from there. Which, check out, if anybody that hasn't, check out Star Wars Marvel Purist. He's been catching so much of his bullshit and just the practical copy and pasting over. I think he's done another video. I need to check it out. But regardless, the whole thing, this is everything that, from even now with, oh God, what was I was seeing something earlier too, that he was getting caught on for, oh, I'm forgetting his name now. A Dark Lord Sith with the staff sabers. Exar Kun, where he was getting details about Exar Kun incorrect. And, certainly Alora, she tags, no problem. And, calls out what the real information is. Like I said before earlier, I've always found him a bit of a goof. And the fact that he very quickly was using stuff like Disney lore and continuity was and is ridiculous. Especially when I remember seeing I was checking out one of his videos a while back of Plo Koon using Force Lightning, which I believe is more of a Disney lore shit sandwich. I'd have to be correct. I might have to be corrected on that, but it still was very goofy that a Jedi, knowing what is used for the Force Lightning, would be utilizing something like that. But it was like they wanted to give something cool like Force Lightning to automation, just get the stuff out, and he doesn't even check it, correct it, nothing. He doesn't care. So I didn't care about his stuff until something like this, where I just felt it was so egregious I had to comment on it. But yeah, so that's my end spiel. And hey, he's earned all the stuff he's built up, fine, I get that. But again, he should not be any kind of authority on Star Wars lore. And if he's gonna say he's a George Lucas loyalist, he needs to back it up a lot better than he has, because he ain't showing it worth a shit. So, yeah.
Agreed. Couldn't have said it. Stop sitting on the fence.
That too.
I'd have more respect for him if he was like, no, I like Filoni. I like everything Filoni does. I would respect him more than I do now.
At least he'd be taking a stance, yeah. All right, let me go through some of the chat really quick. Darth paused earlier. It said, I saw a comment on his video that said, I wish there was a live action Kyle and Mara. No, stop it. Those people need to be stopped at all costs. No. And hey, yo, Static, how's it going, sir? Hope you're doing well. Captain Keeley, good day, all. Good day to you, sir. Hope you're doing well. Keeping an eye on those Toydarians and Munes, I hope. Jorge Lucas says, Fraudloni likes to borrow from the expanded universe. Yeah, he does a little too much of that. And that's always been my point of annoyance, too, with Fraudloni. Is him doing that sort of crap and then getting away with it and being applauded for it, like he's doing the Lord's work or something. It's like, no.
How do you go from felony to fraudoni? I like felony.
I do too. That was a good one. Jorge Lucas says the games are usually loosely based on the books, right? And that was they were like kind of in conjunction, but the games definitely took their own different path with everything, especially then with Dark Forces, with the whole Dark Troopers and stuff. Captain Keeley says Rom Koda from the farce that screeched. Jorge Lucas says the Rogue Squadron games were like that. Rogue Squadron games were fun. Same with Force Unleashed and Shadows of the Empire, Jorge. Yeah, Shadows of the Empire was very different in comparison to the book. But I took that as we were getting a little more to do with Dash Rendar, because while he was in Shadows of the Empire, he was not the entire focus. But still fantastic, and I enjoyed the book too. But he just, as I recall, and I was like really confused. I was like, wait, I thought, because I played the game first before reading the book, and knowing that there was a book, I was like, wait, Dash is in this, but
the game.
I'd say I liked them both pretty equally. But if I would say the book, the book was better, just for all the extra detail, the more fleshing out of Prince Shizor. You just don't. The only thing that kind of sucks is you don't get the soundtrack, but you could always mitigate that by listening to the soundtrack while you're reading the book. So, but I think it's fantastic. New York, Florida man says, "What's up, ladies? Hello, how are you?" Brandon Tran, hello. How are you doing, sir? Hope you're doing well. Saying hello there. Sorry for joining the stream late. No problems. Better late than never, as they say. Glad to see you. Nerdy Neo saying, I remember having multiple ending. I don't remember having multiple endings in Mysteries of Sith. Yeah, like I said, it's like a couple. It's just like one extra little difference, and it's just the fact that you kill Kyle. But it's like nothing really like big or fleshed out or anything. It's just kind of like dead, game over sort of thing. Like you goofed. But the main one is the, better, the actual ending. Nerdinho also says Outcast / Academy are still best Star Wars games. If you like Star Wars and video games, they're must plays. I cannot disagree with that one. That's another 100,000,000,000% correct, sir. Cannot disagree. They are a must. Like I said, even for the lightsaber combat alone, it's just so phenomenal. And especially if you want to start out as a Jedi immediately, Jedi Academy is perfect for that. And then you get to create your own character. And then if you really want to, you can get some mods and create a character that, gets a certain flavor. If you want, like, you can get mods that make your Jedi look like Anakin Skywalker or Obi-Wan Kenobi from Revenge of the Sith. Also, no, the sky's the limits. The sky's the limits. Captain Keeley said, but Filoni will save Star Wars, guys. Oh yeah, he's so gonna save it, bro. Any day now. Any day. We're just waiting for the Civil War to clear. Him and Favreau, they're gonna come out the victors of all this, and they will save Star Wars.
Didn't Bradley get you to admit that like Filoni was going to be the savior?
Oh, that was
Kennedy.
I forget.
Both.
I know it was while I was playing Fable. I know that, and I have that clipped.
It was our intro.
I have put that in our intro occasionally. Yes.
Yeah.
But this time I had you ranting about the Rancor and you falling off the cliffs to your doom.
Yes.
Which are hilarious.
Still to this day,
oh,
they were not planned.
No, that was the best part, especially when you just tried to jokingly recreate the second time and you actually fell.
And I actually fell, and then Sheezer was like, "I just saw that."
Crap! I've completely lost track of what I was saying
about how Filoni's the savior of Star Wars.
Oh right, yeah. And something about Brad. I think it was Brad that got me to have me say that when I was playing Fable for that clip. So I think that was him. Jorge Lucas says Theory will be met with contempt by the core Star Wars fandom if he continues to promote the garbage Filoniverse. I am really curious what'll happen. What's
He
that?
doesn't. I don't think he cares.
Probably
You know what I
not,
mean?
because he has enough sycophants to keep him propped up.
Yeah.
So he doesn't. He can worry maybe, but not. He doesn't have to worry too much. So, and Star Wars Grand, howdy, hello, sir. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hello, Melissa Lord, saying, hey, Fresh Fred Filter. Hello, hope you're doing well, Melissa. Brandon Tread said, don't know if you read gaming news, but did you know Batman Arkham Shadow achieved 3 big achievements? Selling past 1 million, won Best VR Game, and post-credit scene recruiting of Dick Grayson. I hadn't heard... Excuse me. I hadn't heard of the some of those. I didn't know it sold past 1 million or won Best VR Game. I did see a screenshot floating around of the Dick Grayson recruitment, I believe. But otherwise, those other 2 I was unaware of. I mean, hey, that's cool. I'm not a VR person myself, but you know, if anything can kind of help prop up the that side of gaming, cool. Brandon Tran says Batman Arkham Shadow, aka Arkham Origins 2, with gameplay similar to Beat Saber and story inspired by Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay. Interesting. I might just have to like watch a story playthrough or something like that, just to see what the hell's going on. Because like it is, I don't plan on getting a Meta Quest whatever just to play one game. Because so far, I mean, if I was gonna probably check out anything, it would probably be this Arkham game. But I can't justify it, and I'm just not big on VR personally, but that's me. Yeah. Star Wars Grand says, I've said it before, Fractured is the real Kyle Katarn. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Larry doesn't think you are.
Well, I don't care what he thinks. But thank you, Scran. I appreciate that, buddy. Melissa Lord says, Theory has tons of dead subs from when he was struck by Warner Chappell because he used John Williams in a video. Really? Interesting. Huh. Yeah, it's always funny what happens with some of those subs and stuff like that. You gotta wonder, considering like he's still getting views on his video. I didn't even look at what he got for that one, but it might be a little less just because it's a quote unquote not lesser known character, but I mean, Kyle is probably more prominently known with the EU fans and with, you know, a few gamers out there. Yeah, for a guy that has 3.33 million subscribers and he got 44K views. You'd think he would have gotten a little bit more if with so many subs. Yeah. Captain Keeley saying, always filter. Good. Stay vigilant, Captain Keeley. Stay vigilant, sir. Melissa Laura says he was in the right there, but most of those people no longer watch. He was, yeah. Brendan Trent says, no spoilers for Batman Arkham Shadow, but the story is really on par with the Arkham Origins because Batman gets more character development. Oh, okay. I liked Arkham Origins. I thought it was a fun game. Janky as all holy hell, but I still found it fun and the story wasn't bad. I just don't think the stories have been able to peak Arkham Asylum personally. I think Arkham Asylum is just a fantastic, well-constructed story. It feels just because of its being contained in that location. I think that it set them up better for those different set pieces and being able to tell the story they wanted to tell. Arkham City felt a little disjointed at times, especially I think you kind of switched off at times between Batman and Catwoman. So it kind of interrupts your flow a little bit too of the combat. But I mean, Arkham City is still fantastic. in its own right. But I just prefer Asylum. And I just love the atmosphere of Asylum so much. Brandon Trent says the main villain of Arkham Shadow, Rat King, a guy who inspires thugs to rise up against the government, is like a well-written version of Screenslaver villain from The Incredibles 2. I haven't watched any of the Incredibles movies, so I don't quite catch that reference. And I haven't dug enough deep into the Batman lore. Do you know who Rat King is?
No, not off the top of my head.
Okay.
Might be like a little C character.
Gotcha. And hello, Laura. OG Star Wars saying hey there. Hello. You missed the theory ripping. I gotta watch your video because now I'm really curious as I kind of fumbled through dissecting theories Kyle Katarn video. I gotta see what you did for yours because now I'm really curious. I'll have to watch your because I wanted to go in with my own. I was trying to cobble together my own thoughts and everything on it. So I definitely want to. I'm gonna check out yours next when I get the chance and see what you said. Melissa Lord says he did he did a face reveal because of the Warner Chapel thing. Interesting sort of thing to bring a person to do that. Huh. Okay. I didn't realize that he had stayed mostly behind the camera. I thought you might have been one of those guys that was just already out in front. Okay. Well, I have something that'll be kind of more in the realm of something kind of funny, something that I appreciate for sure. Did you have anything you wanted to throw in really quick or?
Nah, he's a shyster.
Okay, cool. Brandon Tran says Rat King is called he's an original character, but there are hints he is an established character in the Arkhamverse. Oh, okay. That clears that one up then. It's always funny when they decide to create characters or or use established ones. Okay. Well, this I thought was kind of funny. And also something I can certainly appreciate when you've got a creator. Now, granted, it's kind of pissing on a fan base, but I still think this is just the way to handle this situation. Soul Assassin, hello, how are you, sir? Saying Kyle Katarn and Darth Malgus walk into a cantina. The owner says we don't serve they're like around here. Yeah, we are, they're kind of around here. Yeah, we're an interesting duo here for sure. There was a time where I would use Darth Bane, but Kyle has just stuck. He is now my face. All right, so what I have here is, like I said, it kind of disses on a fan base, I guess, or anybody that's quote unquote claiming to be fans and wanting this sort of thing, but here we go. So Michael J. Fox is writing a book about his Back to the Future days. Screenwriter reveals, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. Bob Gale, who wrote the trilogy screenplays with director Robert Zemeckis, also shared his thoughts about a potential Back to the Future 4. And that's the part that I'm especially looking forward to talking about because I think it's hilarious. But yeah, so I guess
I heard about this a couple months ago.
This was from February 4th, so we're kind of currenty. We're 4 days ago. Michael J. Fox appears to be heading back to the future, at least when it comes to putting his memories of the popular film trilogy on paper. I'm be very curious to catch that. After taking home the George Powell Memorial Award at the Saturn Awards in Los Angeles on February 2nd, Bob Gale, co-writer, producer on Back to the Future, let slip that the actor is writing a book called Future Boy about his experience on the films, the first of which is celebrating its 40th anniversary this year. Yep. Sounds about right, because they came out in 1985. I'm turning 40 this year, so. Anyways, quote, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, Gale said in the press room alongside the film star Leah Thompson and Christopher Lloyd, but, and Leah Thompson saying, added, you said the F word too. A representative for Fox did not immediately respond to Yahoo Entertainment's request for comment. Nell Fortenberry, a television producer who serves on the board of directors of the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research, wrote in her LinkedIn page that she is writing the book with Fox. Let's get to the part where I want, darn it. I am currently writing a book with Michael J. Fox about his experiences filming his two most famous roles simultaneously in 1985. Fortenberry's LinkedIn said, quote, during those hectic months, he filmed Family Ties during the day and Back to the Future at night. The book will coincide with the 40th anniversary of the release of Back to the Future. Fortenberry has not responded to Yahoo's request for comment. Gale, who co-wrote the 3 scripts with the film's director Robert Zemeckis, also responded directly when asked if there would be a Back to the Future 4. The second film opened in 1989, followed by the third and so far, just the third and final installment in 1990. People, quote, people always say, when are you going to do Back to the Future 4? And we say, fuck you. The movies tell the story of 1980s high school student Marty McFly, who travels back in time to 1955 with the help of his scientist friend Doc Brown, and tricked out DeLorean, he fatefully connects with his parents. It also has been adapted for the stage as a globally touring musical and production that will be mounted on a cruise ship for Royal Caribbean Cruises, Gale said. So, my God, Back to the Future, I'm going to be doing it for the rest of my life, he added, accepting the award along with Gale and Thompson. Lloyd said that so many kids have told me how important the films were to them. Thompson added that Back to the Future was a substitute for what they weren't getting anywhere else. The future is yours to make, Lloyd said, riffing on a line from the film. Make it a good one. For a screenplay that Gale said had been rejected 42 times before it finally landed at Universal Pictures, the subsequent trilogy has had a lasting impact on generations of audiences. The Saturn Award recipients shared reminiscences of the film's impact on their own work. And that's always the goofy thing about it, too, because for some reason, freaking Spielberg, people think it was responsible for directing the movie. I don't know why. I'm like, no, he wasn't. He was a producer, which even then, what the fuck does that mean? But no, Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis were the ones behind the movies. Further quote, it's not really horror or Alien that had an influence on Fede Alvarez, co-writer and director of the Alien Romulus. Ugh. I did not hear good things about Romulus. It was more like Back to the Future and fantasy films, he told Yahoo Entertainment. I can't believe I saw Bob Gale out here. Alvarez added, I'm truly excited. The DeLorean and Leah Thompson were out there. Still can't believe it. Let's see. Fox himself told Rhode Island Comic-Con audience in November, I didn't know what the hell I was getting into before calling the first film one of the few perfect movies. I would agree. And I would say Back to the Future is the perfect movie trilogy. Thompson appeared equally surprised at the film's reception. Quote, we never expected this to happen, she told Yahoo Entertainment, of the impact the films have had on new generations of fans. It's shocking because when we do Comic Cons and see the audience, over half of the people weren't born when the movie was made. What a gift is that? I was born that year. But mainly, like I said, the part I just love about this is just that he apparently Bob Gale, he's been very, very staunch on this. He has been very staunch in that there's going to be nothing more movie-wise for sure. They have done a limited comic run, I believe. There was the Telltale game, but in any actuality, it's just the 3 movies, and he's been so staunch on that. I love him for that, because you have so many directors or writers or whatever that will whore their property out for every every extra little buck possible, but you at least have this guy, and I give mad respects for this, that this says no, we're done, we've told the story, it's done. So that is just kind of the main point to all this. I love that. And as it is, yeah, it's gonna be hitting its 40th anniversary. That's freaking awesome. And for me, yes, I Back to the Future has a very strong place in my heart for sure. It's like a comfort trilogy for me. I love rewatching it just to kind of have that fun. I've picked it apart too. Like my brother and I will go back and forth on just some of the time travel aspects, what it all means, and like what really connect. But it's all out of love and fun because we both enjoy it, and I'm a sucker for Back to the Future. I've gotten like, I'll have to like get the other ones out, but I collected all the NECA Back to the Future figures that they did. I would love to get the Hot Toys ones that they've done of Marty and Doc from Back to the Future 1 especially. But those get mighty expensive. So for now, I'm happy with what I've got. And this is next to like Godzilla and stuff, like Back to the Future is just another franchise that I just love to death.
I think I witnessed you buy one at our job one day.
Probably. Probably. Like we managed to get them in, and I though like other things I've hesitated on, but those figures I was like, okay, I have to get these. So yeah, for me, I love Back to the Future. I think it's wonderful and fantastic. A great trilogy. I don't get better personally. I don't think it gets better. I love it. I just wish they had some restraint for Bill and Ted, but no go. Melissa Lord, I don't necessarily disagree, but I kind of I'll have to replay the Telltale Back to the Future game. Like I don't remember it being horrible. I just was like kind of on it. It just didn't have the same spark. And it was fantastic that they had Christopher Lloyd back, but I think he was like the only returning cast member until the end of the game when they did bring in Michael J. Fox for like a few lines. But to me, it is just the movies. And I think that's just kind of how they stand with it too. It's just the 3 movies. But the other stuff is this kind of, your expanded universe, so to speak. But otherwise, I just think this is just a rare thing to see, and I hope to God this guy Bob Gale has it in like his will or something like that says this must not be done. We must not have because that's another thing. He's been against remakes and stuff like that for Back to the Future. He's kiboshed all of it. So I really hope that it sticks. Otherwise, I mean, regardless, I always have I got like the 4K steel case box set when they released that. I have a 4K set and Blu-ray set. So one of these days I might have to hunt down the VHS collection just to see if I can. But yeah, so I don't know if you have any experience, what your thoughts are on Back to the Future and this. By all means, you have the floor.
Here's the thing: if it's done, we've had this discussion. It's like let old franchises die. We saw it with Beetlejuice, we saw it with Gladiator 2, we saw it with.
Oh God, yeah.
What other ones were the big topic? I know it was Beetlejuice and it was Gladiator that we specifically talked about.
Yeah.
It's like if it's done right, then there should be the potential for it to be good, right?
Right.
But history has shown that, and I don't have statistics on this, but typically sequels are not as good as the original.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Example is Top Gun. Top Gun 1 absolutely will go down as one of the greatest military movies of all time, in my opinion. Well, for fight or flight, right? It's just an iconic, in my opinion, an iconic movie, right? Top Gun 2 came out, and everybody was like, it's excited. Tom Cruise was, actively involved in it,
Right.
and we got it, and it just wasn't the same. It just wasn't. It was just basically it was a take on the first one. I mean, there's a lot of
Rehashing of the first
yeah,
one.
yeah. So it's like, but all this time, and then it's like it was a nothing burger, in my opinion. Like the greatest scene of that movie is Val Kilmer and Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
They kind of reunite, and that's the greatest scene of the whole movie, right? There are exceptions, in my opinion. Like Batman Begins and Dark Knight Rises. I think Heath Ledger played an absolutely fantastic Joker. I think he'll go down as one of the greats. But so there are exceptions, but typically when you see this, it's like it's just nostalgia bait. Well, we're just going to make another movie because whatever.
Yeah.
So Back to the Future, and with this specifically, I've not watched it. I've only watched the second one where Marty's getting attacked by the dad in the room. And it's the delayed baseball swing. Marty.
Oh yeah. When he goes back to the alternate 1985, yeah.
Marty moves, and then the dad waits.
Oh, you gotta watch the first movie. The first movie is just peak.
Yeah. So I actually went to California, the Universal, and saw where it was filmed. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. So if they're as great as you say, just let them be. Unless you can get Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox back. But even then, that doesn't guarantee that it's good. Example, Kenobi. We had
God,
McGregor and Hayden come back. Right?
What an extreme example, too. But like, you're not wrong.
No, listen, episode 1, 2, and 3 were absolutely quintessential, fantastic. I mean, 1 was obviously probably the least, but I mean, 2 and 3, I mean, were great, right? And so theoretically, if you were gonna do a Kenobi series and bringing the original actors back, it should have been fantastic. It wasn't.
No,
and that's because of the writers. So like, my final thoughts on it are, there's a part of me that like feels like a hypocrite because I'll stand here and I say all the time, just let franchises die, just let them be, let them rest, right? Stop bringing up these legends to make a buck. You see it in WWE, you see it in the movie. There's no reason why Gladiator 2 should have taken place. The only reason why there should have been a Gladiator 2 is if Kurt Russell was in it. Or I'm sorry, not Kurt Russell. Russell Crowe was in it, and he wasn't. Right, and it should have taken place. I don't know, maybe a year or two. Well, he wouldn't have been in it, obviously. But if they were going to continue the story, it should have done within a reasonable time, not 20 years after the
whatever the fact. Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Just let it be. That should be one movie that you don't touch. That should be one franchise you don't touch because it is the only franchise that I've heard, and I can't speak with absolute authority on this, but 1, 2, and 3. They don't top each other. They're all fantastic. They're all on the same, the figure skating scale. They're all 9 out of 10s, if not 10s. Right? You can't. I mean, let's do this before we move on. You watch 1, 2, and 3. Does any one top the other, or are they all on the same level of great?
Well, I would say like it. 1 is probably just the best of the 3, but like 2 and 3 are definitely equally to each other. They're just as fantastic as the other.
Right. And that in itself, is that not a rarity when you have 3 movies?
And it's certainly nowadays, yes, because you'll have like the first one that'll be like okay, that starts things off. Second one will generally be like the best of the series, and then the third movie that comes along is like limping along, and it's like, yeah, I'm trying to cross that finish line, trying to get there.
Yeah. It's Christopher Nolan's Batman. Batman Begins was absolutely fantastic. Liam Neeson, I wish they would have done something a little bit different with Ra's al Ghul, but fantastic. Dark Knight Rises, absolutely fantastic, if not better. And in the perspective, I mean, you're exploring 2 different villains, right? Ra's al Ghul and Joker. And then the third one was absolutely just atrocious. It should never have been a movie. Bane was the story was trash. Bane was trash. Batman was broke. Like, it's just,
The only good thing about Bane from the third movies was just the memes that came out of it. That was it.
Absolutely. Just the memes. Those actually produced just as many great memes as General Grievous and Kenobi. memes
Right.
that came from Revenge of the Sith, right?
Yeah.
Should never have happened, right? And so that's typically what you get. So my honest opinion, and then I'll yield the floor. I don't want them to do it, but I also there's part of me that does because I really love the
Oh, you.
friendship. I love the friendship that Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox share.
That is a great thing, but you can't recapture. That's that's the rare
No,
things about some of these is that they
yeah, it's in the moment, right?
yeah.
It's like if let's say Carrie Fisher and was still alive, and they did another Star Wars, can they still rekindle what they had in 4, 5, and 6?
Right. It's
Maybe
hard.
they would
Yeah,
not.
it's
It's
tough.
organic.
It's tough because you also need the right directors and everything for that sort of situation to
Right.
help piece things
So,
together. But also,
Christopher
the
Lloyd
chemistry needs to be right between the actors
and
too. You're right.
and it was there. It was. I mean, I'm again not an authority, but the pieces I've seen of Back to the Future, like that's organic. That's not you're not faking it. You're not not spinning. It's just an organic relationship, right?
Right.
So it's like I may get slack for this, but like the relationship between Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer in the first Top Gun, like they were rivals, but it worked. They fed off each other. It wasn't like they weren't forcing it. There's a lot of examples we can get. So, what are your thoughts? Do you want to see a fourth? Or
Oh Lord, have mercy! No, I've never wanted a fourth movie.
If they had, if all the stars aligned, if they had the directors, the actor, everything.
No, I'm gonna stand by this.
Really, you're gonna say no. You're gonna rob your childhood.
I feel like because this is the thing. Like Marty goes through his arc through the 3 movies. And especially like the second movie is where a lot of extra weight kind of gets put in terms of what his future may hold for him, and he kind of gets the pieces of it until like then the third movie where it gets a little more. It gets kind of a little bit of an exposition dump, but Doc finally tells him, part of Marty's problems is his reaction to being called names and everything. And I took that very strongly too, like especially as growing up as a fat kid, and I still am a overweight guy, is that that was kind of the whole thing, is like he had to learn not to always react so strongly to people calling him chicken, yellow, whatever it was that was calling him out being a coward or whatever. And I really took to that. I thought that was a great lesson that he does learn that throughout till the third movie, especially like a tale that he's being told from his ancestors about the guy's own brother that kind of had the same reaction to things being called names or whatever. And so everything really culminated with the third movie where he kind of finally starts getting it. And at the end, you get that payoff. And I just then would rather picture my own thing of, him and Marty and Jennifer go off into the sunset, live happily ever after. Doc is off in his time travel train that he cobbled together because he just has to. But like he's off doing his thing, and if anything, coming back and seeing his friend, and they still have their great friendship while Marty is living his life in his present, and not and
The
just
other thing,
he has matured and grown in everything.
the other thing you have to realize is that we'll probably have to deal with DEI in this movie because back in the future, or Back to the Future, there wasn't really, from what I could tell, any DEI politics. So I'm sure, like, if it was done, you would have to throw that in there nowadays.
Oh nowadays, and
I'm really shocked that you don't want one because you are like the biggest Back to the Future fan. Listen, I'm frugal. I get mad spending $20, so I can't imagine on an action figure. I've done it, but I don't necessarily like it.
Like I said, it's one of those things that I just have a soft spot for. And believe me, like the way you would know I've won the lottery is if I haul up in a modified DeLorean that looks like the freaking time machine. That's how you know I've won the fucking lottery. It's when I've done something like that.
It's no different than if if I win the lottery, you'll see me in a Batmobile.
I was gonna say the Batmobile.
Yeah, you'll see me in the time. So
yeah, it's like I said, it's a comfort series for me. I love it. I'm perfectly happy with the 3 movies. I don't need any more than that. I am very content. So
I thought you would at least be like a split 50-50 or
you almost had me for a moment there where I was like, maybe. But no, I am standing firm. We are good. I've got my movies. I'm a happy camper. I don't need anything new, anything redone. They are the perfect movies. Leave it alone.
But I feel like you're a little bit biased because of just what we've seen.
Yes,
recently.
and I'm absolutely correct in my biases.
Maybe I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna say I am.
I mean, we did see Christopher Lloyd come back in. What was it, Mandalorian? No.
Oh Lord, he was the former separatist or whatever, and yeah, that was
maybe
that was so stupid.
Maybe he's trying to redeem himself. Like, I made a real mistake doing Star Wars, so I want to come back to the Future. Yeah, I think they'll do it though. I think they'll make one.
I'm happy. I'm content. I don't need anything else. So.
Yeah, but I part of me, I like things that they're going to do it.
I guess unless they come to Bob Gale with a dump truck full of money, maybe. But until he caves, I think we're good.
Does he own the rights? He hasn't released the rights or something.
No, he's standing firm. He's holding on. He's not going to let them do anything with it, not without his say so. So yeah, he holds the rights to that stuff.
Interesting.
To which I say, good for him. I hope he stays strong, and like I said, I hope he has something firm in his will that is like, once he passes away, he must never do this, or you get nothing. You get none of my money. Good day, sir.
If Universal or whoever came to him and be like, we'll give you $1 billion, that he wouldn't take that?
I would certainly hope not.
I'm just saying, that's a lot of money. Just pay a lot of money just to intentionally. Wouldn't that be something if they paid him all the money to get the rights and then just crapped on it?
God.
Like what they did with Star Wars, just to destroy it. Because we live in a culture of subversion and destroying things.
Subvert, pervert, and destroy. Yes, I am well aware of that fact. I am well aware.
That's their undershirt they wear. So when they see their signal in the sky, they rip their clothes off, and that's what you see.
Oh boy. All right, let me get through some of the chat really quick. Jorge Lucas says, please, no Back to the Future 4. Dan Blackroyd, finally the Star Wars news is over. Thank you. Yeah, the main thing we tackled was this Star Wars theory. I'm sure he's probably tired of hearing about him. Melissa Lord saying, oh no, please don't ruin it. I don't need to go back in time again. The Bobs swore they'd never do it, and they're holding strong to that so far. So I keep, much like I've done my dance of cancellation for the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake, I keep doing my dance for this really as well.
You know what's happen? We're gonna get off the show tonight, and
oh God,
before we get on to Wormhole,
you mother,
it's gonna drop because it happens all the time. At 7:00 Sunday morning, it's gonna drop the greenlit for Back to the Future 4. And you know that it could happen. Probably won't, but you know it could. Continue.
I hate you. Brandon Trent says, I mentioned Screenslaver from The Incredibles 2 because the villain also speaks through a screen like Rat King and Arkham Shadow. Ah, gotcha. Captain Keeley saying Alien Slopulus. I haven't seen it. I've just heard bad things about Romulus. That's all. Brandon Tran says, speaking of more movies, somehow Universal Studios are making more dinosaur movies, Jurassic World Rebirth, even though Jurassic World Dominion and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom were mixed. Yeah, that's kind of the funny thing, isn't it? And I don't know, like, if this is the Rebirth, it's supposed to be like a soft reboot or another reboot or something. Something's going on, and I just know there's a third island, apparently. So we had Isla Sorna, Isla Nublar. Nublar, I think, was the main one. And now we're on a third one. So I don't know which of the islands of death, because there's supposed to be 5 islands of death. I don't know which one. I don't know which one this third one, this movie is supposed to be taking place on. But this is good. I have the trailers if you want to go over them, Hitman. I was gonna give you a choice because we're getting close to needing to start Stargate watch.
You want to either do
But,
it or save?
Well, would you want to go over the Jurassic World Rebirth, or would you want to see the Fantastic Four trailer?
Fantastic Four.
Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting that. But yeah, we'll pull that up in just a moment. Captain Keeley, back to the filter.
Real quick. You need to do a poll. They have all the Star Wars games like Dark Force Remaster. Everything's on sale for 50% off. I need to see what game I should buy. Dark Forces Remastered 1949, and then the rest of the games that we talk about are like half off.
Go for it.
Bounty. Which one do I play? That's the thing. Do a stream.
Oh, Dark Forces, get the remaster. The remaster is really good. Night Dive, even though their CEO's a prick, they did a really good job with the remaster of it, and it'll be configured a lot easier than having to mod it. The original version.
Hard to mod.
Well, for you.
That's the nicest thing you've said all day.
Let's see. Miss Melissa Lord says, I have the VHS and DVD. I want the Steelbook Blu-ray. Yeah, I have the Steel yeah, because they have, it's really cool because they have, like, for each movie they have on the side the scenery of the clock tower. And it's like Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3, all in the steel case. Looks really awesome and I have them like behind my NECA figures, so it all just kind of puts it all together nicely. I like them. I like them a lot. Melissa Lord says, my Back to the Future VHS tape has a 1986 copyright date. Let's freaking go. That's the thing. I wish I held on better to my VHSs from back in the day. I don't know what happened to them, but I wish I had them. Brandon Trent says, thoughts on new 2025 Fantastic Four trailer, which dropped earlier this week. Hitman decided on it. He wants to see that trailer, so we'll get to that in just a moment. Dan Blackridge says 3 is best. I do like 3, but Back to the Future 1 is just top tier for me. I love it. I love the original, because there's light changes to the DeLorean in 2 and 3, more in 3, but 2 had a little bit of changes, but 3 had definitely some more drastic changes that I don't mind nowadays. But to me, like, just the perfect design, especially for the DeLorean car and everything, I just think is just, it's so great. And I love the way that movie gets going. So for me, like, but I do like 3. It used to be, for me, I did not like it. To me, for a short time, it was like the weakest of the series. But then, like, over time, and I grew up, and I understood a lot more themes going on. I was like, oh, this one's actually really, really good. Like I said, I do think 2 and 3 are on the same level. I just think, and I'll always think 1 eclipses the other 2. Melissa Lord says, of course, 1 is the best. Dan Blackridge says, filming 2 and 3 at the same time or back to back was the move of genius. It's one of the main reasons, besides the clever writing, that makes them all feel seamless. Yes. And although I wish they'd done that more from 1 into 2 into 3. 2 and 3, at least they did that. You do see a bit of a facial difference for Michael J. Fox from 1 to 2. Like he did, he grew up in that time but still, it all works so well. And 2 and 3, like I said, they're on the same level. They feel very in the same in the realm. I love them. But I love the whole series. So, Dan Blackray says the perfection of it is that it plays like one long movie. Yes, the only thing that gets switched up is the Jennifers, because the original actress had to leave because I think she was, if I remember right, the story was like she had to take care of her mom or something like that, so she couldn't come back for filming, and it was Elizabeth Shue that took over for, which was really funny because then she was in like around the time in, I think that's why she wasn't in Karate Kid Part 2. She was set to come back, but I think because of filming this or filming Back to the Future 2 or something else interrupted that. Might have been something. It was probably something else. Maybe like the Babysitter movie or something. I forget. There was some reason why she couldn't do Karate Kid 2. But yeah, she took over for this. Melissa Lore says, yes, filming the sequels at the same time was great. They only feel different from one when I just got to that. Yeah, when Jennifer is there because it's a different actress, right? And they avoided with oh god, who played his dad? Oh crap, I forgot his name now. But he has like a weird relationship with the Bobs too. But he's still done other movies with Gale and Zemeckis, which is really hilarious. But they found a good stand-in for him, which is funny. That played the future version of him and everything. Crispin Glover, that's it. Yeah. I did go to IMDb really quick. Crispin Glover. He has like a weird thing between him and the Bobs. Soul Assassin says, don't put that evil on us. We just dodged the RDJ Tom Holland remake. Oh God, was that what they were talking about? They've gone through, there's been, because over the years, they've had so many different people in, because I think at one time they were talking about Justin Bieber being Marty at one point. I'm like, no, don't ever do that. But yeah, they've always like it's always been like, not always. It's been talked about occasionally of like with the hot new young actor at a time. They're like, oh, let's remake Back to the Future and he'll be the star. He'll be the new Marty. I'm like, fuck off.
They could de-age more Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, the Parkinson's might kind of interrupt with that.
I mean, they did it with Hayden Christensen.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like it's really tough for him to act anymore because of the Parkinson's, because he's, he shakes all the time. He unless he takes some really heavy meds to do it, but that'd take a lot of strain. His role would have to be diminished so much, and it just would not be the same.
Yeah.
Melissa Lord says, "What's the matter, McFly? Are you chicken?" I think one of the best ones that, I mean, you can't beat Tom Wilson as Biff saying that to him, but I don't know why, but for some reason from Back to the Future 2, Flea, when he's acting all menacing on the screen and he's leaning, "What's the matter, McFly? Chicken?" This is the way he goes into it. He's just like, holy shit. He's really.
Do you realize what tonight is?
What?
The fifth race.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Oh, I forgot. Well, this is a good one.
It is.
I'm so glad we got through Spirits and Touchstone.
Soul Assassin says, I want to see the alternate cut where Marty's dad questions his wife on why their son looks like the guy he knew in high school. Listen. Let's not ask. He's not asking those questions. He already. No, let's not. I think they have their suspicions, but Dan Blackgrade says, even if Michael J. Fox was healthy enough to still play the role, I'd never want to see it. Nothing can be improved on. I agree. 100%. Like I said, he'd have to take heavy meds just to do that.
Unless they go back in time and destroy DEI, then it'd be great.
Right. Melissa Lord, 100% Blake. Yeah, she's with that. Did Black Right Wormhole Extreme. That's what we should call ours. Hell yeah. Although dang Duke has Wormhole Watch. He beat us to it. Melissa Lord says Dark Forces Remastered 2024. There you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it.
Melissa Lord says I haven't played it yet, but it's next after I finish Kingdom Come Deliverance 1. Nice. Duke Devil, how's it going, sir? Are you still at the con? What are you up to? Saying, holy crap, the Dermy clone is here at the meetup, but he seems less gay. Well, I mean, anything could be. The Dermy has risen the bar so high for gay. I mean, anything not him is gonna be lesser than. So that's good. Dan Blackbird says Isla Takano, Pena, Marta, Sorna, and Nubla. The 5 deaths. I think that's them. Yeah, I think you got it right. Hello, Greg Hates Everything. How are you doing? Formerly Tuscan Bob. How are you, sir? 40 pounds of fat interrupted that. Wait, where did it, what? 40 pounds of fat interrupted that. Crap, I don't know what he's talking about. Crispin, okay, Dan Blackred came up with the Crispin Glover. He says I'm better than IMDb. I wish I had scrolled down to see it. I'm sorry, sir. I did not catch it. Greg Hits Everything says it should not be remade or sequelized ever. 100%. Soul Assassin says the best insult is when the girl from Monster Squad called someone chicken shit. Dan Blackbird says Michael J. Fox shouldn't be acting anymore unless he is the bartender in the next James Bond reboot. Oh no, he's earned his time. He just needs to relax. Just take it. Yeah. Melissa Lawyer says he's friends with us. Come on, don't be chicken shit. Greg saying in the modern day sequel, Marty's mom gets stuck in the. Oh no. No, not stuck in the dryer. We all know where that leads. Well, us dirty individuals. And it says her appearance in Karate Kid. Did well, you know. All right, so you decided upon it, sir. You want Jurassic trailer. Let me get that really quick.
I said Fantastic Four.
Oh, you said Fantastic Four. My bad. Dang it. All right. See, this is what happens when I give him a choice. Whether it's the right choice, we don't know. Alrighty, here we go. The main event begins. We're almost getting to the main event. The main event is Stargate Watch. All right. So I guess the question becomes, how familiar are you with Fantastic Four exactly?
Somewhat. I'm not the most, but I know enough to be dangerous.
Okay. Okay.
Boom and Silver Surfer. Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious, like myself, I haven't read the comics. I admit that. I've only seen like the 90s cartoon, which I did enjoy. And I've said time and time again, if they do they should have done Doctor Doom as a suit actor and had Simon Templeman as the voice for Doctor Doom. Yeah. That would have been
Robert
fantastic.
Better.
Shut up. No, he would. No, he's not.
Oh,
but otherwise, like I saw the two Fantastic Four movies with Jessica Alba and oh god, I forgot his name. Michael Chiklis, who played the Thing. But I never saw the Michael B. Jordan one where they blacked Sue Storm's brother, Johnny. And I never saw that one. I don't know if I'm really gonna see this one, but we'll also watch the we'll watch this. Yeah, Dan Blackray said Fraction is trying to rig the election. Maybe. Nerdy Neo says Filtered it really just wants to see the new Jurassic Park movie. If I gun to my head, if I had a choice of what movie I was going to go and see, I would go and see the Jurassic World. Just because I like, you can't go wrong with dinosaurs. Although, anyways, let's get into this.
Welcome to the Baxter Building.
We make a point to do family dinner every week. Sunday at 7, on the dot, no matter what. We're all here.
Herbie, how's that sauce coming? Yeah, I'll be the judge of that. Okay. Okay, is this guy good or what? I want to add a couple cloves of garlic. Not because it's not delicious, I just want to add a little bit of zip, okay?
T-5. Before we went up the first time, you couldn't turn invisible. Ben wasn't a rock. The best pilot in the world right here.
Yeah. Best looking, he means.
And Johnny never caught fire.
Ben has always been a rock. Johnny is Johnny.
Hi.
And I am right here. Whatever life throws at us, we'll face it together. As a family.
All right, so your thoughts, sir? I'll say really quick. Was that?
It didn't play on my end.
Oh fuck! I forgot to share it.
Oops. I was waiting. I thought you left. I thought you boomered it or fell asleep.
Everybody saw it on the stream.
I don't know why. Well, thank goodness. I didn't.
Here.
I need to open another tab. That's what I should do. Just open another tab.
I'm sorry. God, this is still taking some getting used to. What can I say? I just dropped it in the Discord too for you.
Oh, this looks terrible. Is that the atheist guy, the actor, what's his name? Guy with the last name G.
What?
Oh, who is it? The English guy, the English actor that was at the Grammys and called all of Hollywood out.
Oh, I don't know. I just know we got Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, which is the worst probably one that you could put in that role.
Ricky Gervais. He looks like Ricky Gervais.
Who?
Number 4. This guy, number 4.
I don't know.
I would say this Reed Richards, the guy who plays Reed Richards. That looks from
That's Pedro Pascal, Mr. Mandalorian himself. Where do you get Ricky Gervais? What the hell?
From where I was at, it looked like that. Is that
No, he's not. Yeah,
Ryan Gosling?
like he's not in this.
Ryan Gosling?
No, Johnny Storm. That is being played by Joseph Quinn.
Who's playing Jessica Alba?
Vanessa Kirby is the new Sue Storm.
Oh, not a terrible choice. She was in the Mission Impossible movies.
Was she?
Yeah, she was.
I'm very unfamiliar with her. This is my first.
Yeah, she played the broker in the Mission Impossible movies.
Dead Reckoning Part 1, I see her in. Yeah. She's also been in the Fast and Furious.
Yeah. I don't want to watch this trailer. This is terrible. Did you just watch it? How long?
I watched it. You tell me.
This looks like some 19.
Well, yeah, it's doing like the kind of period piece sort of thing. I don't think the aesthetic is that bad. Like I think some of it here. I don't know if are you watching the trailer now?
No, I was gonna. I'm watching. Hold on.
I was gonna say.
This is trash.
All right, so I'm sharing the screen now. Like, I don't think like the whole retro future tech sort of thing. I don't think the aesthetic is necessarily bad. Like some of it doesn't look. I think it looks good. Ben Grimm, yeah, like Melissa Lord says, Ben Grimm's CG looks better than the usual Marvel BS, but Pedro and female Silver Surfer got me saying flop. Yeah, they're doing female Silver Surfer in this. It's saying, but Galactus isn't giant purple fart cloud, guys. Disney says give them your money. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was the other slight saving grace there is that they did not do the Galactus fart cloud like they did in the Fantastic Four 2 movie back in the day. And Melissa Lord is saying Jessica Alba is prettier and Chickless will be better than this guy because Disney. Well, and like we were talking about it on Weekend Pregame, is that the Ben Grimm voice doesn't have, no pun intended, a graveliness to him, like an actual deepness that shows that he's been transformed in any way. He still sounds like the regular guy, which I guess you could say would also be okay, but I agreed. I think Michael Chiklis did a better job of the voice role. I didn't mind the look of the Thing in those Fantastic Four movies. Like I thought he looked fine because I think he's also wearing a practical suit.
This is trash. This is trash. DC could produce a better trailer. This is absolute garbage. The dump I just took prior to the show looked prettier than this trailer.
Lord have mercy, man. Lord have mercy.
Absolutely. You got Pedro Pascal here with the stash. You got this.
Well, what's funny too is we were pointing out was that he has is that, you know, for like a 50s, 60s look or whatever, he's still kind of unclean, unshaven and everything. Like, yeah, he has the stash, but you can still see like he has this shitty little like wannabe like kind of grown in beard on his face.
He's trying to be Robert Downey Jr. with this dude, but he can't grow, the chin beard. This is bad. And then the thing, what's the Rock guy? Is that the Thing?
The Thing, yeah.
Yeah, the guy
Ben Grimm.
Michael Chiklis from The Shield played a better Thing than him.
Well, now we are just going off of a trailer, sir.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The first 2 seconds of it when it opens up and there's I don't know what the deal is with this whole like era of retroness. Like, let's just create.
Well, because so it's kind of trying to capture the as I saw some people say Jack Kirby styles of artwork and stuff like that, and yeah, the styles he put together.
No, Jack Kirby was way better than this.
I said they're trying to okay, so I should say they're trying to emulate those old styles and stuff like that. And
they're emulating insults. That's disrespectful to Jack Kirby. This is. I'm not a fan. I think that the original Fantastic Four, as goofy as it was with Chris Evans and the guy, Tuck and the guy, that was much better.
Well, and I
put Dr. Doom in here, but I know Galactus is a major villain, but they're supposed to be doing a Galactus movie. So like, why are they doing this?
Well, that's part of the problem with all this too, is that they're starting out with such a gigantic, no pun intended, gigantic threat like Galactus, when they gotta learn to scale things back just a little bit.
Dumb helmet. That looks dumb.
That's his design. Have you not seen Galactus, sir?
Yeah, but he looks better in the comics. This looks like some rusted Tin Man head. Look at that.
All we're seeing is the back of his. All we're seeing is the back of his head.
No. We're gonna pull up Galactus because that looks like a rusted thing from New Vegas Fallout. Hold on, don't go anywhere. I'm pulling up Galactus.
I'm grabbing it too. Hang on. God. Static, if only we had Hitman for this, he would have been very entertaining for Weekend Pregame.
Did you guys go over this?
We did, yes.
Oh, this is trash. That doesn't even look like Galactus. Are you kidding me? Are you blind? That is no. Absolutely not. And I'm not even a Marvel fan, and I'm not defending this. Where'd you go? Why'd you move it?
I put Galactus over.
Well, I don't see him.
There you go.
Yeah, you're okay. You're telling me that rusted Tin Man looking helmet looks like that? See, this is the problem. This is the absolute problem. You should have had me on the weekend pregame, and I would have showed up, because this is the problem I have with I can't even talk with making comic book movies, man. That literally looked like a bucket with two things coming out, and somebody just crapped over. They ate Taco Bell and had ice cream and pooped on the bucket head, and that's what it looked like. That is no, it doesn't look anything like it. This is the problem. Galactus, my left toe, does not look like Galactus. And I can't even believe I'm sitting here. Where's Star Wars Marvel appears? I can't even believe I'm sitting here defending this, because, like, we all know Marvel is trash compared.
Duke Devil saying to quote Hitman, because this Galactus clearly looks Bajoran.
Yes, probably. He probably is Bajoran.
Static saying, but all we have is the back of Galactus with a shadow on his back for some reason.
Look, that's all you need. Look at the back of his head. It looks nothing like his helmet. Looks like he was dead in an ocean for years, and it's all rusted. Looks like a tiki statue.
Oh yeah, Static's right. For some reason, there is that shadowing on the back of his head like that. That's weird. You know, he's got the light right on him. Huh. Go figure.
No. Trash.
Well, even Static's saying, I think Hitman might actually be too harsh on this. And also, yeah, Pedro can't grow a beard because he is a woman. I agree.
You're telling me that this tiki-looking statue resembles the Galactic, like in the comic? Like,
all we have is the back of his head, man. I don't want to defend the Marvel MCU slop here, but all we have is the back of his head.
You might as well, while we're live, you might as well turn your camera on and show your belly, because you're defending this poop-tastic travesty. Like, it doesn't matter if you have the back of it. Look at the back of his head. It's stupid. Look at his neck. Where's his neck at? Oh wait, he doesn't have one.
It's right there. Part of his neck is right there. Can you see my arrow, my little pointer? It's right there. This
literally looks like the tubing on the back of my dryer.
Oh my god.
Like the top or a 5-gallon.
Why are you doing this to me? I don't want to defend this shit, but you're making me go.
You literally are. Like,
all we have is the back of his head.
You're defending it. You might as well just say, oh yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. It looks pretty good. I'm optimistic. You might as well just say, like, I'm optimistic. Just tell the people you're optimistic. Go ahead. Do it. You might as well.
This movie I don't even want to see. I don't have any intention of seeing, because I have no care for the Fantastic Four. Well, I'd rather go see dinosaurs eat people.
You're talking out both sides of your mouth, brother. You're saying, well, I don't want to defend it, but then you're defending it. That's a double standard. That's a double standard. You're like, I'm not going to defend it, but hey, well, all we have in the back of his head.
But that's just like, I am more than willing to hate on something without a doubt. You know that. You know we took like an hour ripping apart Theory's shitty Katarn video, for God's sakes.
You defend this bucket head. Like, look at it. Oh, you're just on the back of the head.
I presently do not see anything egregiously wrong with Galactus's design. The only thing that is egregious is the fact that they've gender swapped Silver Surfer. Otherwise, but I do know that there is in canon a female Silver Surfer that's his wife. I don't know. I don't know all the details. Just saying, why are you doing this to me?
Because you're defending it. Flat out. You're like, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Dan Blackroyd's probably right. It will be the popcorn bucket, Galactus's head. No lies there. And then Greg,
at least someone tagged me in Twitter, like, stop talking on the show.
Greg says if Galactus was Bajoran, the only threat he would pose the heroes is nagging and whining you to death.
I knew I like Greg. See, absolutely, Greg's a scholar and gentleman.
Dan Blackroyd is calling me controlled opposition now. God damn it. Greg says, relax.
Like,
Is Bender and is going to be an epic crossover event. You know what? I'll take it.
Bender from
Futurama. Yeah. Melissa Lord says the other popcorn bucket will be Ben Grimm's head. LOL. Oh God.
I've never seen you more biased in this moment.
Yeah, Greg, you're not wrong. The whole aesthetic feels like Fallout. I think I don't know if I said that on the weekend.
Did I not say Fallout New Vegas? Did I not say that?
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Because you didn't watch the trailer. You just said it. You just took one look at it and you said it was horrible.
I said New Vegas Fallout. I said Fallout New Vegas vibe. Thank you very much.
But like it was like this is like the least thing I think is stupid about this. So Nerdy Neo's saying, can Hitman stop scratching his mic when he talks?
Sorry, it's my beard.
Yeah, his beard gets in the way of his microphone.
When I'm angry. Like, it gets angry when I'm angry, so it's definitely angry.
Dan
and
Black
got a stupid BB-8 looking droid, or that droid from Jedi Survivor.
I forgot what the name of the droid is, but that thing is part of Fantastic Four lore, I believe. Dan Blogger said this should be about 5 inches taller. His head is about 15% too small. It needs to drop the voice lower. Not much, just enough to deepen it with some roughness. Yeah, for Ben Grimm, yeah. Yeah.
How big is this guy?
What's that?
How big is Galactus?
Oh, I don't know his exact diameters, but he's like, I think he can adjust his size, but like he's bigger than planets. Like he's a planet eater. He eats planets. So yeah, he's meant to be gigantic. Greg says, no, the existence of this film is production company, and every breath every actor in it takes is the definition of egregious. Wow, how dare you, Captain Keeley, saying fractured filter is controlled by Ben Shapiro. How dare you, sir? Them's fighting words right there. I would never. Nerdy Neo says, I wish I knew when Hitman looked like too. I could make a meme of him and his beard being mad. So I could make a meme of his beard being mad. Okay, so Dan Blackroyd confirms Galactus can change size. I thought so. But yes, so like I said,
you should have watched Jurassic Park. I'm mad. See, this is another example of your reverse psychology. You knew I was going to say Fantastic Four. So
no, I thought you were going to pick the dinosaurs.
Well, that's why. No. That's why you asked me if I wanted to do.
Oh my God!
You knew I was going to do Fantastic Four. So once again, this is your fault. Reverse psychology. Don't like it. Blame you.
Greg says the Thing looks like he belongs in a low-budget off-Broadway TMNT musical. And there it is. There's the cap to that one.
Something from the BBC. All right. I'm totally depressed now that I've seen this and I'm exhausted.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, it looks like Galactus from the back. Looks like a bucket from the back that has wings.
Galactus, he has wings. God. Brad, are you drunk? He says, do you, Anna, drop me a link? What?
He wants to watch Stargate with us.
Sir, I believe you have access to to our Discord. If you want in, I can let you in. But yes, we will be getting to Stargate.
Who can beat who? Can Thanos beat Galactus or Galactus beat Thanos?
I don't know the power scalings on that. I cannot answer that. I mean, I guess if Thanos does have the gauntlet and all the rings, snap, Galactus is gone. Otherwise, I don't know.
Thanos was the most powerful within the MCU.
Greg says USA funded this movie. Says Wanna, stupid autocorrect for buzzed me. That's how gay it is for Fantastic Four. Oh my god. Oh my god. And when we were going over it on the weekend pregame, we had Joker, he was saying, like, I think people are just hating on this for the sake of hating on it. And I think that might have been what you were doing, sir. Just a little bit.
No, I wasn't. Listen, no, that doesn't make any sense because I've never ever defended Marvel ever. This has been the rarity. Like this is like once in a blue moon where I'm sick to my stomach that I defend Marvel. But again, no, absolutely not. That's not true because I'm sitting here defending. I'm the biggest trash talker against Marvel because I'm a DC guy and they're far superior. But here you saw me. I was defending the fact that this does not look like Galactus when you're defending that it does from the back. Buckethead.
You goofball.
You started it.
I mean, I guess I did.
I'm going to start hashtag defund this movie.
Oh. Hey, yeah, Greg, he's saying, I'm just being true to character. I hate everything. We appreciate that, sir. We appreciate the consistency that you stick to and being in character and everything. That can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. Dude saying, you want me to figure out Discord? I mean, that's been kind of how we've been doing things now is in Discord, so sorry. I know how I'd be able to share your screen, though, if you did pop in and started streaming from there.
Oh, gosh.
That, you know, I can't disagree with those rules. Greg says it's superhero slop, so its default status is trash. Don't laugh. Neo saying LOL Keely. That's not that was not funny. Wait, which part? Oh wait, no, they were talking to each other. Sorry. I've always pictured him as Malgus with a beard and Agent 47 suit. Huh. No, because Hitman does have he's not bald. Oh, wait, he's saying but he's not bald like Malgus or like Agent 47.
No.
But he's got a wicked beard. But just not he's not bald. I'll say that. Okay. So I think now is time, and I've kind of changed things up for at least for what people will see on the stream for our Stargate watch. Oh, hello, sir.
Hello, did I figure it out?
Hey, yeah, you hang on. Let me share your display capture. Hang on.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. And I believe the chat can hear you too.
Oh wow. Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna try to work this sometimes. I can't reach a fucking dimmer to save my life. But yeah, so we're here. This is the G&G meetup right now. Oh, hold on.
We got you on screen now, sir.
There's Phil right there.
Hello.
And okay.
See, Brad does all the exciting stuff while I just sit on my ass at home.
Hey, Bruce. Say hi to Patrick.
Hello. Well, I couldn't hear him, but I can hear you just fine, Brad.
I know. All right. So, hold on. Fuck. I'm trying to get used to the fucking gimbal. So I have not found your favorite YouTuber yet.
Shut up, Brad.
I'm working on it.
Oh, we can have a live appearance here. Oh boy.
I know. I'm trying to find it. No, you know, dude.
Brad, how many deep in are you? How many deep in are you?
I'm not that deep.
Oh, okay.
At least 10.
Oh, you got rhinos. All right. An unofficial appearance from RK Outpost. Howdy. Hello. What was that?
He's saying that he wants to find theory for you is what he's saying.
Yeah.
I was gonna say he's breaking up so much at the moment.
So there's a kids show, Brad. If kids watching.
I just love how freaking how black apparently Bliss freaking Ryan is back there. You got quite the shindig there, sir. Quite the shindig.
I need to find theory, dude.
Why do you don't need to find theory, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Captain Keeley saying Ryan is done in. Look at Ryan go.
I don't know how drunk he is yet. Richard just showed up a little bit ago. So it ends up like last year taking a nap. So, yeah. Good crowd here. Really good crowd.
Yeah, no kidding. Quite the event going on. And is this at the Universal side or is this at the convention? Oh wait, no, you said it's all part of it, so.
No, this is city.
Okay.
So this is like the next city.
Oh yeah, the city walk you said. Yeah.
Yeah. It's where all the restaurants and everything are. But yeah, really good crowd. And they finally turned on the fucking music because last week no one could hear. So good time. So yes, that's it.
All
I'm
right.
not gonna interrupt your Stargate one.
No problem. Thank you for showing off your shindig.
Really quick, Brad. Fracture needs a T-shirt. You've got to find some theory merch for him.
I did not see any theory merch.
God damn it!
The saber I bought.
Okay, we'll get him a saber.
I'm not giving you the saber. It's a nice saber. It actually. I looked at Ultra Sabers and other sabers, and legitimately, he had a better saber. I don't know who the fuck is walking down there. Anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow night because fuck with people, the Chiefs are gonna win.
All right.
So
see you tomorrow night.
Stargate, Star Wars, Star Trek,
all that stuff.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, that was our man on the scene, Duke Devil 95 at the Shiwak MegaCon little convention party shindig there. And yes, go follow Duke Devil 95, especially now that we've been doing our Deep Space Nine watches. It's been a lot of fun. Hitman has been bringing all of the anti-Bajoran energy that he can.
Bajoran, they're terrorists. You've watched the episode 4. They planted that virus. They're a bunch of terrorists.
I even did you watch our recap? Because yes, I did say that. And we tried to bring your energy of just how the Bajorans were nothing but dirty terrorists.
Just wasn't the same, huh?
It wasn't the same. I
Yeah,
tried, but
you need me. That's the thing.
but yeah, like it is, he'll drop the recap watches on Wednesdays usually. So go check those out. I've been enjoying it because it's my first time ever watching Deep Space Nine, and same with Hitman. So we're like the fresh pair of eyes checking it out. And then here's even the link to the first episode, which did get me into it. I do enjoy it. Like I said, it took me by surprise. I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about the series itself, especially from the start, but it did pull me in. I've been enjoying it thus far, and we're like on 4, 5, or 6 episode. So yeah, I just dropped the links for him. Give him a watch if you like. So yeah. Captain Keeley with the oh boy. Greg saying that Applebee's has been flooded with the bisexual lighting. That definitely place did have the bisexual lighting going. Yes it did. And then Greg says it's like a class reunion for everyone who rode the short bus. Oh no, Greg. Oh boy. And Melissa Lord was getting a good chuckle out of it. Greg then says, this is at a Universal Studios home of Rachel Maddow and Joy Reid. # winning. But he said it says the city walk. The shitty walk. So yeah. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, now we will begin the Stargate watch. We are on season 2, episode 15, The Fifth Race. So if you are interested in watching along with us, I will be cutting the feed here on YouTube and Twitch, and we will be going primarily over to Kick, Odyssey, and Rumble, where we will not get heavily dinged. And for everybody that wants to join in, you are more than welcome to. Oops. Just trying to make sure I got this. Delete that really quick. But for anybody that isn't going to be joining us, I'll just say thank you all for watching along with us. It was a great and fun show. I had a great time. Especially ripping apart that theory video at the beginning. And to thank you all, Melissa Lord, Greg, aka Tuscan Bob, Dan Blackroyd, aka Liquid Blake, Static 2020, Captain Keeley, Darth Paz, who's in much earlier, Nerdy Neo, Static 2020, Duke Devil 95. We had Lord Scourge in earlier. Trying to get dang it, the chat only goes so far. I want to make sure I get at least as many people as I can. Oh yeah, and Jorge Lucas, OG Star Wars, Brandon Tran, Star Wars Scran, New York, Florida man. Thank you all so much for being here. Here are the links if you want to join us for Stargate Watch. There are the links for that. Bada boom. I hope y'all will jump on over along with us to have some fun over there watching and enjoying along. And Greg saying, yep. Cool. NBC Universal owns Universal City Walk at Universal Orlando Resort. NBC Universal is a subsidiary of Comcast Corporation. Good job, everyone. Listen. Not all of us can be great. And you know, I can't disagree. That's why I don't really involve myself in a lot of extracurricular activity like that. And because, well, Work is a thing. I have to do it. If only I had the leisurely time. But anyways, guys, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. It's always awesome that you're all here listening to our crazy rambling madness and stuff like that. I appreciate it, and I know so does Hitman. Don't you, Hitman?
Oh, yeah.
Again, we are 129 episodes in. Who would have thought we'd get this far with this? I wasn't sure. Hitman wasn't sure. I can't speak for you though, sir.
I didn't think it was going to go past 50.
But even
we hit shut down at 25.
And I mean, just the people we do get in here is always fantastic, and I love seeing the returning faces. Is awesome. Can't say enough good things. I really appreciate it, guys. And now we will kick it on over to some Stargate. So give us just a moment, and we'll be right back.